All right. Welcome to something new, something fresh. I don't know how to start this. I said I was going to start this, and I don't know how.
You're doing great. You're doing real
Did we
good.
have a name for this? So, hey, welcome to Tom Foolers. We're
We're
talking
fooling around.
Yeah,
What was the other name we had?
the
I don't know.
Tomcast. I don't know.
Tomcast.
Oh,
We might
Tomcast.
We'll,
That's
we'll
right.
pick a name. We'll pick a name.
we'll
That
fix it
doesn't
in
matter
post.
right now.
We'll fix it post.
All right, so we're just going to talk about this. This will probably come out right now as a monthly series we're planning. Once again, we'll just gauge interest here. Topics we're going to range from completely whatever. But
I
we
like
picked a
those
theme
topics.
yeah. They're gonna talk about some things here. So I think we just dive into it, unless there's anything else we want to preface for this kind of stuff.
No,
All right, cool.
sorry.
So
Cat's being a
No.
turd.
no, you're good. October 2024, we have just talking about themes. So one of the reasons we wanted to discuss this is because there is a lot of games coming out this time of year, and a lot of games that are good.
Too
like a lot
many.
of big games.
Too many games.
So yeah, I think we'll just talk about it. We pulled up pretty much everything that we could find coming out in the month of October.
Yep.
And put it down. We kind of picked things that we know about. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's some
stuff we
games
can relate to.
Yeah. So we talked about stuff we want to talk about. So if there is anything that we miss, not intentional, we just might not have anything too heavy of an opinion on it. So we're gonna go through it, see what kind of goes on here. Yeah. So let's just get into it. Starting off is a remake for Until Dawn. It came out October 4th. So this is a remake, correct? I'm not super familiar. I know you guys are a little bit more.
I didn't think
Would
it
you
was
guys
a
consider
remake.
this a remake?
I thought it was
This
just
is
a
more of a
remaster.
remaster. Yeah, I think this is more of a
Remaster.
remaster.
Comes to PC, PS5, so probably more of a remaster if I'm being honest.
Honestly, if you haven't played the Game Boys, you need to play this game. Very good game.
Uh,
Don't. It's a great game.
Yeah, you guys
It's
are about to
fun.
fight
It's
pre-recording.
That's very true. That's
It's
very
fun.
true. Jake's
I
unplugged
played
his
it. I
cap
have
here.
it. I will say it feels like I don't know if we needed it. It's a PS4 game, sure, a PS5 version. We can get to this topic a little more actually at the very end, but
We will.
Spoilers.
it could have just been an upgrade, like, and just a re-release too for physical. Like, it doesn't need to be this whole $50. I think it was $50.
I'll give you that. I will concede that.
It doesn't need to be that. It
could
could
have
have been so many games
Yeah.
have that, like, here's a $10 upgrade. Here's a $20 upgrade, you know, like
Yeah.
it could have just been that and then a PC port. But it's a full re-release.
Can we
as far as
talk
I'm
about
aware.
that for a little bit? Like, I'm kind of sick of that gaming just deciding, hey, we just came out with this game, but here you go, here it is again, pay full price again, thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of over
That's,
that.
that's from what I've seen, that's mostly a Sony thing, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
I mean, honestly, I won't even try to lie. Like, they've been doing this for a while, but like, it was more, what is the word? Allowed? People
They-
let it slide because
Yeah.
I remember. So I got the PlayStation 3. A lot of there was so many like triple packs. Like, here's just 3 games.
Collections.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
so true.
Now, obviously, like, I think from like the PS1 to PS2, like basically until recently, games haven't, the systems haven't been fully backwards compatible. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, correct me on this.
PS4
but, like-
could not play PS3 games.
Correct.
So
And like so stuff like that. So like honestly, when PS4, like I know what I have. Like I got the Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy for that. That's what I have. The Devil May Cry, like the original trilogy.
HD
Those are things that-
collection, yeah.
I'm fine with some of those, plus with like a little HD res. But like, I've talked about this in person or like just to people, but we are getting to a point in gaming where graphics and stuff, all this stuff is just kind of hitting a peak where we're not going to see too much improvements when we eventually get to the next console generation. So it's going to be less and less needed. Of course, there's so many games that I'm sure we can all agree on that there could be remaking on. Not to saying Until Dawn or any of the other games are bad games. I've never played it, but I do know of most people loving the game. So I think that it works in that sense. Obviously, more people can play it, but there's just so many other games down the list that I would want to remake first. That's just kind of my soapbox for that.
I get that too. And again, if it were like a $20, $15 price tag, I think that's more realistic, but yeah, having this, I think this is the first. I know it's not related, but they have that other game too that they released, The Quarry.
Oh, was that the same developers?
Same developers, yeah. It's not the same
say,
series, but like,
yeah,
they just came out with that, and now we're already remastering Until Dawn. So I'm with Josh on that one, where it's like, can we maybe focus on some other ones, some older games that we have been ignoring for forever?
The PS2 Ratchet and Clank games, the PS2 Sly Cooper games.
I was just about to say Sly Cooper. Where is Sly Cooper?
The Sony Jack and Daxter got a port, I believe, but I think there's something wrong with it. I don't know if that's fully true. But regardless, I looked up the price. It is a $60 release.
That's crazy.
So I definitely think, especially if you're a digital owner, it should have been a $10 upgrade. If you have the disc for PS4, a $10 pass, like DLC, you know?
I'll give you that.
I just got I got a new game coming out, guys. It's because I misheard Jake, and Sony's gonna have a new sequel to God of War called God of Port.
God of Port, yeah. Yeah, well,
and I heard you say God of War
port, so
God of Port. No, okay, that's Sony. There's a joke there somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, game itself, I don't really think I have much to talk about on Until Dawn. It's just that topic.
That's fine. Anything else?
Looks good.
Yeah, I mean,
anything else we want to talk?
A lot of it was quick time events, which that's not my typical gameplay.
With the nature of the game, that is what you're gonna see, though.
Exactly. It was more a storytelling, narrative type game, which I know you're more interested in, Josh, than I am. But I still genuinely enjoyed this game.
Is it like So it's like not a visual novel. I'm not trying to say that. Like a story, like you pick an action. It's
like the Telltale games.
Yes.
It's close.
That's perfect.
To
that's kind of
that is a perfect example. Yeah,
those games are better, but
I'll give you that too. Telltale is way good at what they do, and I love their art style. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, I think we can move to the next one, which, speaking of remakes...
a better remake, and I think a better example of why a remake that can be done well, Silent Hill 2. The remake came out October 8th for PS5 and PC. Yeah. So,
Jake's making a face.
I'm actually really excited.
Because I'm a big horror guy.
Okay, all right.
I'm excited to play this.
Well,
I've never played Silent Hill games, but I really want to give this game a crack.
You can't shit on Until Dawn and then be like, I'm a horror fan. But anyway, Silent Hill 2.
It's survival horror. That's like the shit,
Wendigo, man.
Did you even say it right? Isn't it Wendigo?
I don't know. Either or.
Whatever.
Anyway, Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Taro.
I'm just excited I'm excited for this to play this game eventually. I'm trying to get into horror games. I've talked about this on like just personal stuff, but like I just kind of dislike a lot of horror movies, horror stuff. I think it's kind of, I don't really care for it. Games, I like the interactive ways that they've gone about things, especially games in the recent times. So I guess kind of want to play some of the classics. Getting into like Resident Evil recently, for example, has been fun. I actually really like some of those games. Resident Evil 2 was a fantastic game. The remake on that came out like 2019, 2018?
I think so.
Somewhere that. Yeah. Either way, a game like this, it would be like, wow, let's see how the Silent Hill games are. Obviously a remake, but I've heard it's very good. I've heard really only positives, so.
Yeah, I have been a passive Silent Hill fan. I haven't played much of the series. I have the PS2, Silent Hill 2.
It actually kind of surprises me.
But, Silent Hill's such an expensive series to get into, and I honestly think that's the biggest thing with this, is because they've never really re-released the Silent Hill games. So this modern remake is probably the best way to get people back into Silent Hill, and starting with one of the best ones. I think 1, 2, 3, and 4 are good, but...
Have we had a game in a long time? I mean, obviously you could say the PT Silent Hill stuff, but like since that whole debacle...
I will look that up quick.
Yeah, when did PT come out? Because that was supposed to be a demo for the next Silent Hill, right?
I'm sure that date will probably make us all feel ancient.
Yeah.
Silent Hill. PT was in 2014, and before that was Silent Hill Book of Memories in 2012.
Woohoo!
Which was released for the PlayStation Vita.
Oh.
All right.
Who remembers Vita?
But yeah, no, Silent Hill, it looks, I think the big thing to take away from Silent Hill 2 is how it kind of was a surprise. Everybody kind of expected it to be not great given Bloober's track record. I now looking back at it, I was one of those negative voices, but I think that was blown out of proportion. It was mostly coming from layers of fear, I think, because those games are they're walking simulators with okay stories. But from what I've seen,
I was pretty unfamiliar.
Yeah, from what I've seen and what I've like watched some live streams and stuff, it looks amazing. It looks like they're staying true to the story. That's one thing I do know about Silent Hill is the story is usually pretty good. So
I've never played myself, but
a good remake.
yeah, I've never played myself, but I know I've heard Silent Hill 2 so often in my life. I know this is like the one to play if you're gonna play just one of them. So I might.
It feels like like Resident Evil 4. I know of like the big twist in the game. I've known about it for a while, but like Pyramid Head as an enemy, this creature design is very iconic.
Very iconic. Game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to things like Nemesis from RE3 or something like that. So
yeah,
it's
right.
I think in like a horror game icon, it starts to rival even some of the very popular horror movies. I'd wager a bit, to some degree. Obviously, it ain't gonna beat like freaking.
Yeah, it's no. I almost said Freddie Mercury.
I appreciate that.
Nothing like that. But yeah, it's definitely like.
I agree.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, Silent Hill
in a
itself
video game
is,
sense
but,
for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anything else we want to say on this one? Or are we gonna?
No, just a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I was really surprised when it dropped. That's for sure. Moving on to something one of us has actually played, I think, so far.
Persona 6.
Fantasio. Yeah. Oh, now you're admitted it's Persona 6. Metaphor came out in October 11th for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and S. So, yeah, this game, all joking aside, it is very similar to Persona because, wow, go figure, it's made by Atlus and it's made by the entire, pretty much, Persona team.
What?
That being said, it has many different things. It's just another game that Atlus created in the grand scheme of things. They took a lot of things like... So what I've played, I'm not actually terribly far into the game. I got just a fourth party member.
How long is the game?
Probably 100 hours, about as long.
Yeah, it was like, from what I've heard, it's 90 to 110.
80
as much. That's Atlus-esque. Yeah.
Yeah, so not super far. I've been playing it on my off time. I've loved the game so far. I don't want to talk too much about that stuff, obviously, for
little
spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't even have a whole lot of spoilers left, but like... There's like spoilers to get through. Like there's just so much in the game. I feel like I'm barely at the surface. They have games similar to Social Links. There's a time system very similar to how you maneuver in the Persona games. The battling is a lot more different. It's
very different.
It has a class-based system more similar to games like Bravely Default, Final Fantasy V, games that have jobs. Like they're more jobs. They're not personas or demons. And then the battling itself is very similar to the press turn system. If anyone's ever played a lot of the more traditional Shin Megami Tensei games, where things like missing a turn, that eats up your turns, or you hit a weakness, that gives you an extra turn.
Yeah.
And then something like blocking or repelling or absorbing an attack, you're done. And the turn's over. You lose that turn. And it's very detrimental. It's harder than a lot of the Persona games, that's for sure. But it's welcome. I really like it. I love class-based job systems. And honestly, I know you guys haven't gotten it yet, but already what I've gotten to, this is such a big recommendation. I've loved the game already. The characters are great. The music's great. The level design's been fun. Everything about this, I've been having a blast at. I have nothing really negative to say so far.
Yeah. I've been watching you play it, and the art style alone, like, it's very different. I freaking love, like, Bravely Default. You brought it up. Bravely Default and Bravely Default 2, it has kind of that sketch background drawing-esque thing, and it's similar, but it's not
Lucky,
almost, but even like the character designs, like the monsters you've come across so far, again, not spoiling anything, but there is a creep factor that gets to me One of my phobias is human-esque things, like the uncanny valley stuff.
Mhm.
So seeing some of that literally chills down my spine, and I'm like, oh, that is disgusting. If I ever came across that in the wild, I'd be dead. That's it, game over. So yeah, I've enjoyed watching what I've seen so far. This is a recommendation for me too, and I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say on this really, other than I love Persona. I've been trying to avoid this game like the plague. There's a lot of these games this month pertain to me, and we can get to the big one for me later. But like this, it's just one of those games where it's like I really want to play it. I want to see it unspoilery. So
Oh yeah, of course.
all I know is I love the art style. I saw the second trailer. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks great. Combat looks great. The one, I think, is it just the battle theme that like everybody's obsessed with? It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. We didn't even talk about the music. It's really good.
It's Shoji Meguro, the same Persona composer. So like obviously it's a different vibe from Persona. It's not the music that you hear,
that guy's got some insane range when it comes to composing.
It's
fantastic. It's honestly, if you played honestly, it gives me more games similar to like maybe a Nier Automata type deal, or Fire Emblem Three Houses. Actually, I honestly the vocals. I literally think of God Shattering Star from Three Houses. I know Jake, you know what I'm talking about there. So, very good music though.
I don't know if he composed it, but from what I've heard, some of the soundtrack sounds vaguely similar to like Shin Megami Tensei 4.
That's the one I haven't played yet. I played 3 and 5.
That soundtrack's good. I haven't played that, but that game's soundtrack is amazing.
I've heard some tracks like the battle theme. It's a good game. It's got some really great stuff. The story's been very gripping so far. It's a whole new world to dip into. It's not just like, hey, Tokyo or something. I think this is the most intriguing Atlas world pretty much ever. Like, nothing to knock against that. Like, obviously, a lot of the Shin Megami Tensei games are based off of a lot of basically every single religion and other just everything merged into them. There's stuff based in like Hindu, Christianity, Greek mythology, Norse mythology. It's all together, and it's fantastic. I love seeing the depictions of that. That's a different conversation. But having its own thing with own like the species and all that stuff, it's super cool. The game's everything, like I said, don't want to spoil a whole lot, but like even then, the theming is just great. It's got its goofy moments, got its serious moments. Like I just was playing a part today where it's like, once again, without saying a whole lot, it's like it goes into really deep, disgusting like topics, like you like fucking getting pooped out of a giant worm, and then suddenly the next moment there's literally talking about like child death and human trafficking, and
that's
it's just
so
like,
true.
it just goes from one to the other. Like it's just like a goofy segment to something serious, but like it does it in a way that works. It's not like jarring. I think it's good, and it gives the characters personality, which is definitely, it's a character driven game. Go figure. It's obviously the characters are going to be great, and I've enjoyed pretty much all the main characters so far, and even a lot of the side characters are villains. So yeah, anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I think you nailed this more or less on the head, but the big thing I can take away from what I've seen is I think it's really good, and not to say there's anything wrong with it. It's really good they're breaking away from the SMT formula, where it's just like SMT can exist, Persona can exist, and those two can share their lore and their monsters and all that stuff. And I love that stuff. I'll be nostalgic for some of that stuff like I am with Pokemon, but it is nice to see that their talents are being used to create something new, something fresh. So
I could see myself by the end of this game being like, where's Metaphor 2? Like I'm wanting a game set in this similar, maybe not obviously a sequel, but like in the same
in the world. So,
I could, if this turns into an Atlas series mainstay, I'm already sold. And once again, I know this has been a little bit of a yacht fest from me, especially, but it's definitely, it was like my most anticipated game, and honestly, saving that for later, but who knows? I'm sure it might be spiking up to one of my most favorite games of the last couple of years, too. So, I'm going to not say a lot in this next one because it's our good friend Jake.
Jake, let's go.
The 11th is the first of the battle of the dates for me. I actually, looking at this list, it is the first of the battle of the dates and just in general. But the 11th was Metaphor ReFantasio and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
And Dragon Ball Sparking Zero came out same day, October 11th, for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and S. So, Jake, pretty much take it away.
Yeah, I won't talk too much here because I know you guys aren't huge fans. But
I've watched your stuff.
Guy.
In terms of things that have just been a huge part of my life, Dragon Ball has always been there. That's probably my number one franchise, period. Sparking Zero it's such a big release because it's doing numbers. Like, it's like the biggest and the best 3D fighter. Wow. I mean, it sucks. I wish that other series could get this much attention. Like, I genuinely do. But it is good to see at least one get this much love and push and all that.
As a non-Dragon Ball fan, I don't think you need me to say that this is a game that I know that every Dragon Ball fan probably should be playing, because it's all I've heard about being hyped up by the Dragon Ball fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. It's a fun game. It's just more Dragon Ball. And I mean, we're going to get Dragon Ball games every year, but some of those are hit or miss. Some people don't like Xenoverse. Some people don't like Breakers. But this is one of those games where every Dragon Ball fan will find something they like.
I've enjoyed the hell out of my time playing, like, just Dragon Ball fighting games. Like I've told you in past, there's one I had on the GameCube for a while, like borrowed it from a friend. Had just a freaking good time. I knew nothing about the characters or story and stuff. I watched a few episodes on, like, Toonami back in the day, but, like, this is just, it was fun. I don't think they're bad games, and I'm sure you, a non-Dragon Ball fan, could have fun playing it, gameplay-wise, but obviously it's a huge team, like, catering to Dragon Ball fans.
It would be a little weird to go and buy this at full price if you're not a fan. I mean, if you want to play it with friends, that's different. But, like, it's a good game. If you're not a Dragon Ball fan and you want to check it out, wait until it's on sale, kind of thing. But if you're a Dragon Ball fan, this is a pickup right now. If you're a fan of fighting games too, like, it's a good game. So. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we really need to stay on this topic for too long, because I'm going to be yapping quite a bit for this next one, too.
Have you played it or no?
Sparking Zero? No, actually.
Okay,
what?
Do you have it yet or no? I'm
huh?
surprised. Do you have it yet or no?
No, I'm poor.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we can leave that part out.
No, that's pretty funny. Editor, leave it in.
Yeah, the editor's me.
No! Future Jake, don't you dare, yeah.
All right, once again, I'll just move this because I'm gonna say my piece and then go back to Jake, because this is
another Jake one, yeah.
On the 16th of October, we had we had the Switch version of Crow Country drop. Is it just for Switch? Let me just check my little thing here. Where is it? Well, I don't see it anymore. Either way, it's not on this one, but basically, Crow Country came out the Switch. It came out on Steam and other, like, PC stuff a few months ago. I don't remember if Jake knows the exact time here. And I said physical because I wrote there's a note. There is a physical release coming. I forget which is the site. I think it's Fangamer.
Yep.
Either way, that's coming in 2025. I love physical games. I will probably be getting that because I know Jake has talked a lot about it. Jake, I think you missed it because you had your headphones off for a sec. Is it only coming out on the Switch?
It's coming out for the PS4. I don't know if it did. They had to delay it for some reason.
Did you say PS4?
Main reason, PS4, PS5.
Oh, okay, alright.
Just that storefront. Main reason I even wanted to put it on here is just because I do want to give it some attention. The Crow Country is such a good game. You like Resident Evil style stuff, you're gonna like this.
Yeah, I've seen some gameplay of it, and just from, like, your streaming stuff. But, like, it looks cool. It's just like a neat style.
I think
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you were right with Resident Evil style, like early Resident Evil, because it's like it's a fixed camera, if I'm not mistaken, where you have to go through the room.
Not fixed, but it's what are the, like, diorama? Like, you cannot move it up and down.
Yeah.
You can only move it around the main character.
That makes sense.
Yeah. An isometric, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much on this just because it isn't new. This didn't come out this month, but it is getting its physical release this month.
I don't know. I've been avoiding spoilers on this one too because of how much you've hyped it up. I'm like, maybe I'll play it someday. So yeah,
it's a very good entry gate to horror. So, like, it's not like in your face or anything like that. But if you also just like retro style, this is a really good one for that.
Just to save the post editing here, I pulled it up while talking. It came out May 9th, 2024, which already seems like a long time ago. Holy crap.
Yeah, and I streamed it like pretty shortly after it came out too.
Yeah.
Check it out. Free plug.
Yo.
Anything else?
No.
Not for Crow.
I would say no. It sounds like you want to save the story or that stuff, but it does. Look like
I don't want to mention anything specific. It's a good game. Go play it.
Yeah, if you if you don't want to play it, somebody already has. Go check it out. Plug number 2.
I'm really cool with the resurgence of PS1 style games, especially in a horror aesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't know why it works so well, but it really does.
It really does.
I guess going off of that really quick, I know we should probably not stick to these little ones so much, but I am glad the PS1 aesthetic is getting a little more popular. I think N64 aesthetic kind of stuck around a little too long. N64 is kind of ugly, like not like bad, but it's like I don't know how to put it. Like because like they're the same generation, but there's a stark difference between PS1 and N64, where I feel like N64 is more pixelated and N64 is polygonal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But you prefer pixelated?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Unless if we're talking like Dreamcast or something like that, where it's like in between PS1, PS2.
Yeah.
Then that's good, but
I think it really depends. Because you look at some like early, like comparing the two, obviously a little off topic here, but like talking about like Link's model from the original Ocarina of Time versus like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Bro, what the hell is Cloud looking like, bro?
that's true. That is true. There's stuff like that. I think as a world aesthetic, because like if you look at Final Fantasy versus Mario 64, Mario 64 is ugly. Like,
okay, buddy. That was their first 3D. That was their first try.
I know that's not something to like bash on it in terms of.
Yeah, no. It's I guess moving up the
ugly.
Moving up the list too. You go to Final Fantasy IX, which still came out in the PS1. That looks incredible for being still on the same console. Like obviously that was like Final Fantasy 1 to there as a jump, but like even. I know one game actually just kind of relevant because it just came out on Nintendo Switch Online, Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah.
Came out on Nintendo 64. I think it's a great looking game, but it had so much technical holdbacks because of the 64 like slowdown. Yes. Factoid that is once again a little irrelevant to the topic at hand, but the intro cutscene that Banjo-Tooie has is slowed down. The music is slowed down. Like Grant Kirkhope and the other like people working on that slowed it down because the N64 could not render it fast enough. So then, on like Xbox and previous subsequent releases, the sounds and the cutscene were out of sync.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a lot of slowdown in
cutscene, but yeah,
there is some slowdown in some of the bigger worlds. It's not unplayable by any means. It's a fantastic game if you have never played Banjo-Tooie, the original Kazooie. Great game. Off topic, but just something like that, obviously. The 64 held back certain aspects. Basically, they had their ups and downs, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Anyway, play Crow Country.
Yeah, what's a tangent? Anyways, moving on to actually the day after Mario Party. Oh, how did I fuck up? Mario Party Jamboree came out the 17th for Nintendo Switch. Mario Party looks good.
I got a bucket.
I played it. I don't have it. I played it though.
Yeah, I wish you could show the bucket. Maybe we'll take a picture and put it in a post or something like that.
We'll put it in the thumbnail, but I got a bucket because I bought it at Target.
It's the bucket.
Yeah, pre-order bonuses are wild.
Very strange. But yeah, I got it solely for the fact of the voice acting because this is the first one without Charles. So, plus I like Mario Party. I should say that too. I do like Mario Party, but like from all the clips I was seeing, the voice acting is crazy. And I'm not sure if it's like chopped up or like edited or if that's legit. So I still need to play Jamboree. Obviously, it brings back my favorite all-time. I don't know if you guys know this, but all-time favorite from Mario Party 2 and overall, but the Western Land. I absolutely love Western Land. I wanted it for the Superstars. Didn't do it. I was waiting for DLC for it. They didn't do it. So when I saw it in this one, I was like, sold. I need it. Absolutely need it.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
It's this, again, there's not really too much to say other than this looks like a great game. It's getting great reviews. From the bits I've played, the side games are actually kind of fun.
They look
I know
so
in
much
a lot
better.
Of Mario Party games where it's like, you only really want to play the party mode or the mini game mode.
Yeah.
But there's like a race kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can do mini games kind of thing.
No, like
But it's fun.
this is what the revamp should have been in the first Switch Mario Party.
Yeah.
Instead, they tried and it just didn't work. It looked lazy.
Only complaint. Why the hell are stickers still a thing?
I don't know.
I do not like stickers.
Yeah, stickers was dumb.
I get it a little bit because it's similar to the like you could like cheer and stuff in the other games. Like in Mario Party 8, you could shake the Wii remote and like Toad would scream. Like, cool.
I think it's just another way to use your coins.
Like,
so you can buy more stickers, but
yeah, I guess. It's still
fair enough.
But
I
again,
agree.
Not
Stickers
too much
are
to
not
talk
needed.
about.
As somebody who grew up with the N64 and a lot of the Mario Party games, I'm just glad that we're kind of going back to just fun Mario Party.
I
honestly.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, they had quite the big roadblock after 8. I think mini games from like 9 and 10 are still good. Same thing with like Superstars, or not Superstars, Super Mario Party. Or even the DS games. They had good mini games, but the core game is never great.
Yeah, just kind of meh.
Mm-hmm. And we're finally back. I don't know if we're fully
We're
to
back.
like nostalgic levels. I haven't played Jamboree, but
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
up
either.
there.
Yeah.
I think it's been a long road on the Switch. Each game that came out subsequently on the Switch, it's like, okay, this is kind of, we're like getting there. We're getting there. It's like, it's kind of how it feels like. And
Yeah.
like each one we're going there. And this is the one where I feel like they finally got it. So I hope they just keep this upward trend, because honestly, the next game, probably on Switch 2 at this point, will be probably fantastic too. I hope.
yeah. I mean, only thing I could want. I want a different art style. I'm kind of sick of the like new Super Mario Brothers art style. The like plasticky look they have.
Yeah.
They should experiment around. Paper Mario Party.
Oh, dude.
That'd be a fun spin-off.
Or just like bring back like the Mario Party 2 like costume aesthetic. Just do something, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, that would
do
be
something.
so cool.
But yeah, I don't know. And they did like the simplistic HUD and stuff. It doesn't have life. I mean, I'm sure core of it does, but still, again,
I get it.
food for thought.
Once again, a lot of games playing out, and there's just so much we haven't gotten a chance to play yet. But yeah, it's another game that is just on a list of we'll probably like it when we get around to playing it. So next up is one that once again we all have our time in the spotlight. This one is now Grant's.
This is my
time.
baby.
So this is the Batman Arkham game. It's VR, correct?
Yeah, VR only.
Batman Arkham Shadow came out October 21st for VR. So, Grant, take it away.
Yeah, so this is a sequel to Batman Arkham Origins, which I have been begging for since the dawn of time. And they made it VR only. So I'm a little salty about that because I'm not buying a VR just for this game. I get motion sick, so VR for me is not ideal. And God, Ratcatcher. You guys probably have never heard of Ratcatcher, but like,
No other.
what a niche character. I want to know the story to this, but what I'm hearing is that this is actually doing very well as a Batman VR game. It's not like, I can't even remember the other one. I think it was Blackgate for VR, but it's actually like people are it's ads and stuff, but like,
Oh, wasn't that one just Batman VR?
maybe it
on
was
the PS4, right?
well, no,
Wii.
you're right. Yeah,
VR
you're right.
game on the Wii.
No, I'm shush. You're right. PS4. But people are genuinely saying, okay, like, yeah, it's VR, but like I actually feel like Batman. Like the Predator mode where you're like swinging around, actually like getting them up in the gargoyles. It feels real. The combat, it actually like you have to use whatever motion control and punch in the correct direction. They like the story to it. So I'm not a huge fan of VR. Been begging for a series like or a follow up to Origins. So like half my heart is hurt by it being VR only. But because of this, I am also hearing rumors and pretty credible sources that they are creating a new Batman game in the... Well, I don't know if it's in Arkham universe yet, but WB is working on a new one that will come to console. So
yeah, with James Gunn running DC now, I could see him being like, we could either go with another Arkham game, or we should wipe the slate clean and just do a whole...
It's a cash cow. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the Suicide Squad kind of ruined the Arkham verse, so they need something to bring it back.
Yeah, part of me hopes that it'll just be a whole new world kind of thing, but it also kind of sucks having to wait. It's not like movies where you can get one every year. You gotta wait kind of a while for games.
But I don't know if you guys know this, they scrapped a Batman Beyond game and movie. They scrapped...
I do know about the movie.
Yeah, they scrapped a Damian Wayne Batman game, but now they're talking about doing a new Arkham game. So I'm excited about that. But Arkham Shadow, I think I'll watch this one. Somebody do a playthrough, maybe just watch the cutscenes. But I really wish they made a console version. I don't know why this is a VR exclusive. It's kind of disappointing, but I love Batman.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites. It is my favorite hero.
It is one of those things where it's like, it's cool that Batman is, or not Batman, that VR is getting actual games.
I don't think it's ready for it.
Yeah, I'm not bashing like Beat Saber or Super Hot, because those are great games. But when like the only like games, like narrative games that are like actually worth a lot of money are Half-Life Alyx and Batman, it's like, can you really justify
I can't.
that? Like, I got a Quest 2 for like $150.
Well, and that's the other thing.
I only got it for Beat Saber.
That's
and
the other
Among
thing.
Us, but that's a little bit of a different story.
You can't play Shadow on the 2, can you?
Right, no.
Which is insane to me.
That's the other thing, is these things are constantly being upgraded.
Yeah.
And while sure, there are good experiences on these other ones, but you can't get like an actual, like, full game.
Not at all. They're being updated, and the old versions are getting scrapped too quickly for it to be worth the price.
Yep.
I'm off my soapbox now.
I fully agree.
I like the Arkham games, like the ones I've played. It's
Absolutely.
Same.
It kind of sucks that they're falling into like some, just I guess you could say, modern gaming
tropes.
Tropes, commonalities, something like that.
Fix it, James Gunn. Fix it. Give me some real stuff.
Please.
No, please fix it. This is a must. You will fix it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Batman Arkham Shadow?
No.
At least it's going good as a VR game. Hopefully that can spell good for the rest of the series. So
well, if it does well, I think it'll fund the next one, which I care more about the next one than I do about Shadows. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fair. All right. Next we got it's Fear the Spotlight. It's for PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, basically everything. October 22nd that came out, and once again, similar to Crow Country, it looks very similar to a PS1 aesthetic horror type of game. I've just seen trailers of it, and I think reviews have been quite well, but it just looks like another game that I kind of want to try at some point.
Yeah, well, I would say Crow Country is definitely Resident Evil leaning. This is Silent Hill leaning. You can kind of tell just from, it's not fixed camera angles or anything, but it's like you can scrub through some gameplay. It is not super action oriented. It's puzzles and creepy aesthetics. It looks good. I will say it looks good. I can't say anything in terms of like, oh yeah, this is the next big PS1 retro game. but it looks really good. And from what I've heard, it's tied to Blumhouse. It's Blumhouse Games.
Ooh.
I saw that, yeah.
So, and I like Blumhouse.
I do too.
They make some good movies. A big movie guy, so I don't have much to say on it other than it looks pretty good. Looks like another Silent Hill-esque game, and I'm always down for that kind of stuff.
No. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, figured I'd throw that one in there. Another probably short one, I would assume here, but this got announced recently in a direct. Yakuza Kiwami coming out. It is just a port to the Switch. Came out October 24th. I have not played Kiwami. I know Jake has. I played Yakuza 0, and Yakuza is a franchise that has grown a lot in popularity recently, especially in the States and just outside of Japan, but for good reason. They're fun games.
Oh, absolutely. Yakuza Kiwami is so good. I know it's they kept a lot of the more difficult elements from the original. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, so if you get into it and you're like, this is way too hard, give it some time. It is very tough, but it is worth it. I know some people say you want to start with 0. I say start with Kiwami. So it is the first. This is how you were supposed to be introduced. Obviously, it's a remake, so it's not necessarily 101, but it is how you're supposed to be introduced to characters like Kiryu and the whole supporting cast that are slipping my mind. But Yakuza Kiwami's great. I do like the beat 'em up style a little more than the JRPG style for this series. I know it's kind of where it's going. It's a turn-based. But
really, it's
still
going turn-based?
Yeah, it's been turn-based for the last 2 games.
I've never played. I should preface that, but like from what I've seen, it's always like almost like No More Heroes.
Yeah,
like that's what I've seen for the gameplay.
Not really. Kind of. It is. I could see where you get that. But no, Yakuza 7 and 8, or Like a Dragon, as they're because that's what they're called in Japan. They're trying to switch over to that name. 7 and 8 are turn-based. Yeah, they're still fun. 7 is very fun. I put a lot of time into that game.
I'm gonna say something very brave here.
Oh boy.
I don't. No, I don't think that the Switch might be the place to play Yakuza Kiwami. However, that's their only option. I'm not gonna knock you on it. I played The Witcher 3 on Switch, and honestly, for everything that I know people could meme on, it holds up actually incredibly well. And obviously, it depends on who's making the game, because some games that have less of a size than Witcher 3 look and play a lot worse. So I actually do not know how the Switch specific reviews hold up. So I guess just do your research before doing that.
That is a good point. Again, great game. And if this is your way to play Yakuza Kiwami, go for it. It is worth noting that there is a limited run re-release of Kiwami, and it looks like they're going to do most of the Yakuza games. Because I do know some of them are getting harder to find, Kiwami and Kiwami 2 specifically. If that is your way to get them, pay attention to limited run. Otherwise, it'll be on the Switch front for a while. And I mean, if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, then maybe this is the way to get it. But for now, Switch is kind of...
It's 8 years old. It's dated.
Yeah, it's showing its age, and it already wasn't very ahead when it came out.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. No, it is.
This one was another double date.
Yeah, no, it was. So moving on is another one, probably going to be a shorter side. It's a remake, if I believe correctly. It's Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. Came out on Switch, PC, PS4, and 5 same day, October 24th. From all I know about this game, it is a very beloved game in the Saga series, which is a pretty long running series, like RPG series. And I heard it's great. It looks great. I've seen the stuff for it, and it just looks like a very competent RPG. I'm a very big RPG guy, and I know each game can be as low as like 30, 40 hours to 100 plus hours, but I have a lot that I want to play. And this is another one that I will get eventually, and I will play eventually. It just looks good. and I'm sure you guys will hear it if it is very, very good.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the Saga series is something I've always heard of. I mean, I teeter going in and out of being a JRPG guy. I love some series, I tolerate others. So I mean, I don't know. I not nearly as much of a JRPG guy as you, Josh, but this is definitely one that's been kind of on my radar. I would say it's like in popularity, it's comparable to the what is it, YIS? YIS or YIIS?
Oh, just YS East, yeah.
Oh, it's just YS? Yeah, YIS.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
I've had my eye on that series, but that's another
Yeah,
series
like-
I haven't dipped in yet.
What, YIS 9 just came out or something like that?
Oh no, 10.
10? Oh, there you go.
I think there is a 10 on the way. I don't. That's in like the.
Or it's coming out. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
it comes out the day after, actually, on October 25th. East 10 Nordics. We didn't have to talk about that one, but none of us have really any familiarity with the franchise. Heard it's good.
Looks neat,
What's
yeah.
more-
That's all I can say.
So I don't want to harp on this too much. I had one RPG moment, and that was Metaphor. So moving on, this is probably Jake's toughest day. There's two games that he loves.
Yeah, I will.
He loves
I'll
Call of
talk
Duty
about.
franchise, Black Ops. So yeah, it's a double date. Sonic X Shadow Generations and Call of Duty Black Ops 6, basically coming out
Call
for
of Duty.
everything you can think of. Obviously, Sonic Shadow gets Switch as well. PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox consoles, both October 25th. If you don't know, Jake is a Sonic guy. And a
Yes.
Call of Duty guy. No, I'm kidding.
I used to be.
I like
but,
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I will
go
take
ahead with
this
Sonic,
one
though.
by storm.
Yeah, we'll get to Call of Duty.
I can. Do we want to get into Call of Duty, or do we just want to lump it in here?
I can talk about it.
I can make. Okay. Yeah, they came out the same day. I had the opportunity to pick it up at a midnight release because Call of Duty had a midnight release, and they're like, "Hey, here's Sonic." But yeah, Sonic Generations. And so this is a port remaster with a new part. So think Mario 3D World plus Bowser's, and not Bowser's Inside Story, Bowser's Fury, or Kirby Return to Dreamland, and then the Magalore story there. Both great, but I think if we want to say the style is anything, this one kind of freaking takes the cake. Sonic Generations already being one of the best Sonic games in the series, and then Shadow just happens to be maybe even better. While shorter, it feels like every side quest type thing in there isn't bloat. And I think that is the biggest praise I can give it. Because Sonic Generations has a little bit of bloat, and it ends on a really bad note with Planet Wisp being not fun.
Spoilers.
Shadow from I just played it all. Generations came out in what? 2012?
I know. I'm just giving shit.
So that's not spoilers. Anyway, there's only one level I didn't like in Shadow. So take that with what you will.
Wow.
But this game was amazing. So good of a soundtrack. Sonic doesn't really miss there, so I guess it's not really. That's like saying,
Sonic's
wow, the
music
Mega
is
Man
huge.
soundtrack was good.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, series known for having good music has good music.
Yeah, it's no. I've seen whatever thing I've seen about it. It looks just like a Generations 2, which Generations was one of my favorite Sonic games that came, especially like in the more modern 2010s kind of era Sonic. What I played, really love Sonic Generations, a great game. But this is probably the superior way to play it because now there's even more stages and more story, more content. What's not to love? And $50 too. That's actually if you didn't mention that.
Really big thing is Shadow itself could have been $50.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have batted an eye, whatever.
Especially since he's coming back into popularity.
But yeah, like this is the year of Shadow, and if you want to compare that to the year of Luigi,
So true.
I think I know who's winning.
I think we got a winner.
But even people that aren't Sonic fans are talking about this. I do think this is a turning point for the Sonic series. Hopefully they don't fall backwards again, because this is if they fall back and start screwing up, that's exactly what they did after Generations. Where the series started falling apart again. I mean, like Lost World was fine, but then you had the Boom stuff. Frontiers is obviously decent, but it's buggy. Superstars is not perfect. It seems like they're finally back on track. I really hope they pay attention. I think they wanted to baby Sonic a little too much.
Yeah, Frontiers, I think, fell into the trap that most games are right now, which is everyone wants an open world, so let's give them one, and then they fill it with nothing. So I'm glad to hear that we're coming back a little bit.
Yeah, Frontiers was pretty good in terms of like what you could do and what it was capable of, but the Poppin' was awful.
Moments,
Oh yeah, Poppin' was awful though. I mean, that's actually probably the worst part of it. The writing was actually pretty good, surprisingly.
World design wasn't actually awful. I know it looks it looks jarring, but like when actually in motion and playing, I didn't have as much of a problem with it than just seeing random grind rails in the freaking sky, you know?
Yeah, they explain that in lore, but again, I feel like that's kind of a lazy way to be like, oops, we didn't really have time to optimize this. Especially because, if we want to talk about this really quick, I think this is, well, not Sonic X Shadow, but Frontiers was one of those games that was held back by the Switch. There was early demos that leaked Frontiers, and it looked way better. Like, I don't know what had happened, but at some point they definitely had to cut back. Sonic's model didn't change or anything, but like the environment looked better. There were way more trees. There wasn't Pop-In. It's something must have happened, and my guess goes to the Switch. Especially because Sonic sells really well on Nintendo platforms. Like, there's no surprise there why Nintendo had partnerships with Sonic Team.
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense.
But regardless, Sonic Shadow is great. If you've thought about playing Sonic games, check this one out. It's so good. It's 2 games in one. Like, even if you wanted to think
for the
of
price
like,
of
Shadow is... Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of ups to this. Like, I could talk about this all day. It looks good. I forgot to say that. It looks good.
Yeah.
Like,
I would agree with that. The art style is really nice.
They did really good. Again, it's... Oh, I mean, I guess, like, I mentioned this really quick, just because we're reaching the end here. Sega's back. I don't know what happened to Sega for a while there, where their only thing they were really doing was Yakuza and Sonic. They're back. They got Monkey Ball
came
back.
out earlier.
Yeah.
Monkey Ball. Yakuza obviously is still on top. Sonic is like coming back in terms of quality, and then they're on this crazy wave of doing like Crazy Taxi and Golden Axe and Streets of Rage.
Crazy Taxi was Sega?
Yeah.
Shut up.
And Jet Set Radio.
Bro.
But all these games, all these series, the only one that's really missing that I can think of that I wouldn't mind seeing come back would be Knights.
I'd be interested in the remake just because I just associate that with Sonic Adventure. Obviously. It would be interesting, and at least I would have my kind of... I would be looking at it. I'd be eyes open, interested for sure. So,
As a kid, I looked at the big 3 and I didn't even look at it as consoles. I looked at them as Nintendo, Capcom, and Sega, and I feel like that's coming back a little bit.
Capcom needs to do more with Mega Man still, but I agree.
Yes, absolutely. That's all I have for Sonic. Unless if you guys want to chime in at all.
No, I'm excited to play this one. I just made a video, and like I recently played and did a video because I wanted to time it before Sonic X Shadow, so I did get Sonic Adventure DX, where I just kind of talk about the game. And once again, it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I really want to play like Adventure 2. I just want to play more Sonic. I'm in kind of a Sonic zone, and this game is helping a lot. It looks
the Green Hill Zone,
like a fun time. Yes.
Okay.
No.
Did you not hear that?
No, I didn't.
I thought it was funny.
What did you say?
The Green Hill Zone.
Oh, that was funny.
Thank you. I thought you all were like staring at me because it was a dumb joke.
No, you both were talking at the same time, so I couldn't
Josh
hear
is
you.
definitely mad at that joke. He's not very happy.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
No, I heard it. Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, perfect.
No, I don't know if any of us will have too much to talk about this Call of Duty, but like,
what do you mean? We're all Call of Duty gamers out here.
All I've
heard is it's if you like Call of Duty, especially Black Ops, you're gonna like Black Ops 6. I am not a big Call of Duty person, but I really enjoy Black Ops 2.
Oh my god, yes.
That is a fun game.
Yes.
And I'm looking at this purely from a playing with the homies, multiplayer maps.
Yep. Zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Sorry.
See, I can
Black
say the
Ops
same
2 was
thing-
peak.
I can say the same thing for Black Ops 1.
Yeah, but I think
like
2
this-
was better.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Perchance.
But from what I've heard, I follow a couple people that play Call of Duty still, and they are saying that this might be the best game in the Black Ops series. Not saying in
Alright.
Call of Duty. But it does sound like they're returning to form in a lot of ways. Focusing a little more on the narrative, drawing things back in terms of like, wow, everything's crazy, I can wall run now.
Isn't there a
like
grappling hook in this one, though?
There was a grappling hook in 2.
No, it wasn't.
Or was it 3? It was 2 or 3. I don't know. See, they all blend together. That's the bad thing about Call of Duty. But anyway, I've heard people are actually really happy with this. Excited is a weird word with Call of Duty, but people are happy. And I don't hear many Call of Duty fans. being
No,
happy
they're always
anymore.
pissed. Yeah. Always mad about their games.
For a while, it felt like each Call of Duty game was like the worst game to come out in the Call of Duty
So
franchise
true,
for a
dude.
while back in like the day.
Yeah.
Not like recently, but like I mean, it comes out so quickly. As I'm gonna admit here, I actually totally thought that we were just had like about to get Black Ops 4, and now suddenly you're telling me they're at 6. So that's how far removed I am from this franchise, I guess. But like, it is a game series that I will pick up, usually on sale, and play some multiplayer rounds with the friends. I am by no means a competitive,
No
like
shot.
online
yeah.
competitive. I would never
Yeah.
be able to play these.
No.
But they are fun games to just goof around with friends on, for me at least. So yeah.
Yeah, when I had endless time in high school, sure, I'd play
Yeah.
online matchmaking, but nowadays it's just like, yeah, if I want to get good, I want to get good at shooting zombies or robots. So it's like,
Yeah. You'd
But, I
have
mean,
to
it
know
could-
life the game. And
right.
We're
Good
adults now.
for fans. I'm happy for them. This might actually be something I want to look into, but I have no idea how easy it is to get back into Call of Duty, especially when we're on 6 of
Yeah,
Black
that's
Ops.
so true.
Like it's not like, oh yeah, World at War 2. No, this is Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Which is World at War goes into Black Ops, so it's the 7th in that series.
Yeah. But other than that, anyone else have anything on Sonic and or Call of Duty, since they both came out on the same day?
Negative.
That's fine. Moving on, only 2 more on our list personally here. So first up is one that, once again, you guys probably will have a little bit more. It's a more moving on to multiple platform release of Phasmophobia. This our game already came out a while ago, actually, but now it's on PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Came out yesterday now.
Yeah.
Or I guess the same day roughly. We're changing
It
that.
came out the day we started this recording.
That's so
It has
true.
been, right?
Yeah.
It came out, and also with updates, if I'm not, like a big update for the game in total, correct?
That
If
was
I'm-
2 days
Yeah.
ago. That was the
Uh,
Red
but
Moon.
Just keep out. We could talk about
yeah,
that too, I guess.
it was
The
to
update came out.
coincide. It was to coincide. But yeah.
Yeah.
Take it away, guys. I've only played a few rounds of Phasmophobia. It's not my favorite game, but I know it's.
It's
Take it away.
very good. I still think it's not fully released. I know like it has a release date, but it's one of those things where it's like
Early
they're
access.
not on
Constantly.
version 1. They're
Yeah.
not on version 1. yet.
Constantly updating. Yeah.
Which is good. I know the team is pretty small. In some ways you can kind of tell, but they have a lot of effort into a lot of the little things, and they have a roadmap going. So even though this is almost like a checkpoint rather than a release. This is now console players can play, and there's crossplay, by the way. So
Yep.
if you have friends that play on computer and you have an Xbox, you can play with them.
Crossplay is
it's very
just the thing of the future.
Agreed.
Really, we need to.
They needed to do
Every
that
game,
so
right?
long ago.
It is very fun, although I will say, it has some similarities in terms of what you would want out of the game to Lethal Company, and Lethal Company shows where this game could improve. They need to tweak movement considerably,
Yeah.
I believe.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
You move a little too slow.
Well, and your sprint is like 3 seconds, and then you're winded.
Yeah,
Which
the UI for controller is awful.
yeah,
So I have no idea how it is on consoles. I have trouble navigating that, and it activates my mic all the time. So that kind of sucks. But regardless, Phasmophobia is really fun.
it is so fun.
There's a lot of replay value. That's all the game is replay value.
Yeah.
You need a good group of friends for sure. It's definitely going to be.
Yeah, it is not a single player game. Unless if you really like the game, it is not a single player game.
Yeah. There's too much to do.
Company.
Yeah. Same thing with Lethal Company. I can play Lethal Company by myself, but I cannot play this by myself.
Yeah, there's too much to do where you need a team to get in there. You have to get certain evidence, but there's 12 items that get you particular evidence, and you have to find 3 different sets of evidence.
It's 8 now, yeah.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things the game doesn't outright tell you right away too.
Yeah.
So
I know it doesn't
it's a
baby
lot
you, but
of learning. I do think that this is a good game to finally be on console.
yeah.
And I kind of hope it gives them the revenue to kind of push this game into new lights. But aside from that, I'm excited for people to finally play this or to have a new way to play. That's all I have on this game.
I think it definitely came back. The first major update where it came out with the tiers of items, we stopped playing because it was damn near unplayable.
It was a little daunting. It was a little daunting.
And it took forever to unlock those new items, and you couldn't make all that much money, so you couldn't buy the tier 1 items.
Yep.
And with this new update, you get free items right off the bat every round. You lost your tier 1 flashlight, here you go, have a free one. So tier 2 is easier to unlock, in my opinion. You can automatically upgrade all your tier 1 stuff. So I think it is definitely a quality of life update that was super needed. Yep. We're back to playing it again because it's enjoyable again. But yeah, I'm with you. There's still some work to be done. I would like it to be more than 4, so we can play with more, or at least somebody comes out and mods it.
I think going off of that, it does one of the things it definitely does really well over Lethal Company, because it is compared to that quite a bit. They're not the same. Do not get that idea wrong. They're just 4-player lobby
games.
Yeah.
Similar ideas, but execution is completely different.
The big thing that Phasmophobia shows that Lethal Company needs to do is stuff you can kind of carry over from run to run, since it is roguelite, whatever you want to call it. You unlock stuff in Phasmophobia for future runs. Lethal Company starts from ground zero at the beginning, and that's fine, but it needs a little bit of something to show that you're doing it. And I think Phasmophobia shows that, because I have a lot of time in both of those games, but Phasmophobia has that, you can work towards unlocking things. Lethal Company is just, can I get better? Can I have a different experience?
Yeah.
Lethal Company's better at the different experiences, but the horse apiece. Both of the games should take notes from each other.
Yeah.
As Phasmophobia is good. Can't wait for Lethal Company to come out on console.
The last thing I will say about Phasmo is I wish it were a little scarier. When you die, it's just there's hands that come up in front of you and then you're dead.
That is very true.
I wish it were, if it's a true horror game, I want to get screamed at. I'm not a huge fan of jump scares, but I want you to be screaming. Make it scarier. Yeah, I think it's a little too lighthearted, where you're going after all these different kinds of ghosts and they flash in front of you and stuff, and you hear them giggling. But give me something. Give me an adrenaline boost, a pump in my heart, man. I need to be spooked. I love that feeling. And honestly, this Phasmophobia doesn't really do that for me.
When it was new and you didn't know what was happening, it was scary. But now that you learn things, it's okay, great, I'm dead.
It's
I
almost
couldn't outrun this.
It's almost like Five Nights at Freddy's. You get numb to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess moving in, because I'm not super familiar with Phasmo, but Lethal Company in a sense has I think it has a good balance, and what I like is I think it has some genuinely scary things, especially with some of the enemy designs, how they chase you, how even some of the ways you die, how the Bracken kills you versus how the Ghost Girl kills you, for an example. Just
that's another good point.
But breaks up the tension. The game, as a lot of people see, it it's hilarious sometimes, but it's with the people, with the moments, with the proximity chat, all of that stuff combines, and it's once again, you could probably play a very boring and scary run of Lethal, but it can be fun if you got the right people.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think is what at least it sounds like you want to make the game scarier while still having the aspects, because I think in that sense, a lot of the aspects that people liked about both games are present in both games, like the proximity chat and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think you could, yeah, as you're saying, make the game have more stuff to do in terms of the horror, the scares, the spooks, and then
Upgrade it. The best way to put it is upgrade it.
Yeah.
It's a good game, but it needs polish.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Lastly, I think as the last game we'll talk about for this section on October is another remaster, and the one we've been hinting at for quite a while.
Yes.
Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered for PC and PlayStation 5, coming out in a day, October 31st.
Yep.
Stupid.
So with this one, I see, and now Grant and I can fight. I actually don't, and I'll preface this, I don't like Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just it's not what I wanted when it came out, and I tried it, and it's just whatever. So maybe I'll try it with this remaster, but what I want to get at here is we kind of talked about it with Until Dawn, is PlayStation's got this addiction to re-releasing things right now.
Yeah.
Like as if the PlayStation 4 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's so weird. This is a full re-release. They're charging full price for it.
Which is
However,
crazy.
the one thing they do better than Until Dawn is you can upgrade from the PS4 version.
I did not know that.
So
A lot of games.
I think it
especially early
justifies itself in a lot of ways that way.
Okay, you win. You win that argument. I had no clue that this one was an upgradable one. Because I will buy it because of that.
Don't say I won yet. A physical release being full price is a little much. I still think the physical should be like $50, but I think they're putting it at full price because they're re-releasing it on Steam, and it has not been on Steam.
I played all through Horizon Zero Dawn, and I liked the game. I think it was a good game. It's not like it wasn't outstanding, and I could see why people like Jake maybe just kind of like, I'm not feeling it. But I thought it was a genuinely fun game. I can't wait to play. I do want to play Forbidden West. Haven't played that yet, and this is a game very, very similar to something that happened recently, being The Last of Us Part 1. Why are we releasing this?
Yeah.
It is such useless. Now, I get it. They showed like a trailer that they tried their best to justify it. Like, hey, we like re-recorded all these scenes. And you know what? That's cool. That's awesome, actually. I'm like, that's cool. I appreciate the work. But like, why not put that work into something that's not a game that you could still play on your current console?
Yeah.
It is just, it's frustrating. I don't see many people besides super probably diehard Sony fans that would be defending this, luckily, but like it is just a wild thing.
Yes.
Nothing against those games. I think Last of Us 1, the original Last of Us, is one of the best games on.
Yeah.
But honestly, one of the best games you could play, probably just a story game. I think it's worth just experiencing, if I'm being honest. It's maybe not going to be for everybody, but like, so some people might hate it, some people might love it, but no. And Horizon, I don't think doesn't hit the same marks for me, but at the same time, doesn't need it. It was a fine game on its own. I never said, damn, this really... I played on my PS5 too, funny enough. Like, I played the original Horizon when I already had a PS5. Yeah. So, like, I'm not even like, this really needs an upgrade. No, it doesn't.
It was perfectly fine.
I'll do a quick fix of what I said before. It isn't a full price game. It is
really?
$50.
That's still too high.
So, I think that's justifiable.
I don't.
The
for
upgrade
a re-release?
is $10. The upgrade is $10. So if you already own it, or if you want to buy the PS4 version, it's only a $10 upgrade. The PS4 version is probably $20, so that's $30. But if you just want to start fresh, that's an extra $20. And I don't think that doesn't bother me. I still think it should have been like $40, but it's the same as something like Skyward Sword. Like, not much has changed here.
You know what?
But
look, I'm actually going to get on my Nintendo defense here in a sec.
Oh, defense. Okay.
Because people shot on like games like Skyward Sword coming out and be like, oh, dare they release it for $60? well, at least that game was on different consoles. At least that game had an improvement. And like, people will also do that too. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe the new Yoshi game, which is 5 hours long, is a $60 full price game that never goes on sale. Yes, but at least it's freaking new. At least it's something. At least it's something that feels more.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the quality of Nintendo. That's a different game. Like the Yoshi's Crafted World, extraordinarily mid.
Yeah. No. Sometimes Nintendo is an amazing company, but sometimes they'll release something like Kirby's Forgotten Land, a game that is just amazing, like fantastic. But then they also release Kirby Super Star Allies. That game, it's jam-packed with content, but it feels boring, and that's what sucks. It's not challenging, it's just But anyway,
I'd rather pay for a game like that than pay for any upgrade of Horizon. If I ever want to play through the original Horizon Zero Dawn, I have it already on my PlayStation 4, and it also came with the Frozen Wilds, I think it's called, DLC.
Oh yeah.
I actually didn't play the DLC, I'm going to be honest, but like,
does this come with the DLC?
Yes, I believe so. So like, it does come with the DLC. That's cool too. But like, once again, I think like certain releases of Horizon, like after a certain point, came with the Frozen Wilds DLC.
Here's still my problem with it.
The remaster.
PS5, you can play PS4 games.
The DLC.
So why is it $50?
Yeah, that's the big problem. That's the big problem. That is the big problem.
That's why I can't justify that price tag.
I think I can justify it in terms of it containing the DLC, the base game being 20 and the upgrade being 10. So like, if you look at that, that's probably about the same price. I think $50 is fine. I'm actually okay with this.
Re-releases
I don't think it needs to happen. I will say I do not think this needed to happen. But
remasters, maybe. Re-release? Oh, this is a remaster actually.
It's a remaster.
Still maybe. Because a lot of work
point I was going to get to.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into remasters. And the teams have to work really hard to upgrade everything. So, okay. A little bit better on the price tag. I still think $50 is ridiculous. But, like, if it's a re-release, give me $5 for that. Sorry, re-release? You didn't do anything. So, no, I'm not buying the same game for something else.
It's weird. It's just... Once again, it's just one of those things with like this. The PS5 has been a very weird console because it's done this a lot. Like, this isn't the only game, but like Ghost of Tsushima had the director's cut. Death Stranding had like a director's cut, and I know they added some stuff to both games, which is fine. But like, you know, when a game's like, you had The Last of Us 1 at the end of the PS3, then it came out in the PS4, which is the version I played, which was a very competent version. Like, it is very good. I played it. I played it not super long back before the PS5 came up, but like I said, it still holds up as a game.
That's my problem with this. And like, as much as I have been defending this, my problem is the fact that it does look way different, but it didn't need to look different. That effort didn't need to be put there. I think yes, maybe they did need to tweak some stuff so it could run better on the PS5, or so it did have some PS5 upgrades, but they did not need to completely redo things or upgrade things. Like,
that's very fair.
It's one of those things where the game is already available. Why did they do this? And that's like if we had Mario 64 on the NSO and then they released a $60 version of it with widescreen. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we got the All-Stars pack. That's a little different. They are different, but
kind of like Grant was saying too. Like, a lot of work goes into this. I'm not trying to knock on the people. Like, I get this is definitely like an upper decision because like they spent the whole thing showing all the upgrades they did. And if you've never played the game, just pick up the remastered version. Then, like, it's obviously that's the game to go to at this point. Similar with The Last of Us 1. It's like, I'm not gonna buy it, but it's also, I guess, in a sense, not for me. If you want to just buy the game.
It's just another starting point to get the game.
Yeah.
And I get that take 100%. It's like, but then again, when games are getting to the point of, well, the price we get, $50, even $50, $50, $60, $70, that's not something everybody can buy on a super frequent basis, especially when you have things like bills, kids, or just anything to deal with,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money on video games because I have no life. but it's just, you know, as
You're
we're trying
telling me.
to. As we're trying to explain in this like little like thing we're doing here, there's so much games that pique our interest that we want to get, but like is unrealistic that we could have played and bought all these in this month and have enough of an
Yeah.
opinion
Right.
on. Hence is why we're splitting it up.
Yeah.
So
And
I guess
just
kind of wraps it up in a sense like that.
to go off of that, out of this list, I'm just what we talked about. I wanted, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. You know how many I bought? I bought 2.
You know how many
Sonic
I
X
wanted?
Shadow and Until Dawn.
3 out of this list. I have some that I'm like interested in and I'd watch, but actually buying and play, Metaphor, Mario Party Jamboree, Phasmophobia. And I already have Phasmo, so really 2.
I've technically only bought one this month, which is Metaphor, but yeah, no, it is a game like obviously got like a good chunk of games come out every month.
Yeah.
That's just what happens in this gaming industry, and that's probably another, you know, aspect of just how much games come out per month. It's like you have to fill it with sometimes almost feeling meaningless fluff like some of these games in here, but so much that pique our interest. And none of these that are even here, I don't think anyone I would see is considered a terrible game in any
No, I don't
respect.
think so.
Right.
And that's why we wanted to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
there's
gonna
some
win.
weird stuff with like we started and ended this with the weird ones. Until Dawn and Horizon Zero Dawn, like both of them having Dawn. That's actually weird.
I didn't even notice that.
But those games are fine. I have my opinions on Until Dawn and Horizon Zero Dawn, but they're still fine games. Like
I think you could pick a
It's
game
just-
from this list and not be disappointed.
I think all of these are good. Like Grant was saying, like Batman Arkham Shadows, like it sucks that it's VR, but it's probably a good VR game.
Yeah.
It just
People
sucks
said
that it's
good, yeah.
VR.
No, it's like, yeah, you could get gifted one of these games. You can only get one, but like I said, you could. And if regardless, Sonic may take you 5-10 hours. Metaphor will take you 100. Dragon Ball could be literally any variety of hours. Infinite. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a good list. It's a good month for games. And honestly, I know we'll get into this eventually in another one, but it's been a good year for games.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh yeah. I struggle to think of what would be game of the year.
I was thinking about that the other day. There's been so many.
There's actually, I believe, my gut tells me, and I'm not going to say what my predictions are fully. My gut tells me more than one of the games here will be nominated for game of the year.
I feel like that's fair.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see maybe 3 of them.
I see it a very good year, and there's a lot of games to go on, and we'll have our own discussion. Not spoilers alluding to it, but in December you'll definitely see us rounding up our games. We'll probably have it after the Game Awards, the official Jeff Keighley sponsored one will conclude, so we'll be able to kind of maybe discuss that and then discuss our own opinions, because I know regardless we'll have our own favorites that will win or not win. But yeah, it's really cool, and I'm really kind of seeing like it does shake it up, because this is very late in the year and people have already picked their games of the year. People have already picked their best, like, top 5 games of the year.
Yeah.
But there's so much that just shakes up this gaming sphere this year, which is cool. I'm all right with that.
I know I already had a couple, and now I have more.
Yeah, so true.
It's like, oh boy.
My queue, my backlog is getting very long.
Longer and longer, yeah.
Yep. Well, that's why you just say you're a collector, and then your queue doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay, good luck with that.
It's not called hoarding. One is a board.
Yeah, at this point, are you a collector or are you a hoarder?
Yeah, fair enough, right?
My parents think I'm a hoarder.
Any wrapping up we guys want to do? Anything last minute we want to talk about with this month? But anything?
Really, this was an insane month, and that's why we wanted to talk about this. But there's more that we didn't talk about. There's some stuff coming out.
We skipped a few of the games.
A big one that I know none of us can really talk about, Dragon Age, I think.
I know, yeah, I can't believe
tomorrow.
I haven't played Dragon Age. But
it's like, that's a huge series.
Yeah.
And like, this game kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, not much we can say on it, but that's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah,
there's
no,
more, there's a lot we didn't mention.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about in like gaming, and like that's what I kind of wish my tastes were a lot more tunneled
Narrowed.
in. Yeah, because like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man, there's so much I have to play. Yeah, no, it's been good stuff. Let us know. I guess just a little post stuff. Let us know if you guys like this little monthly roundup stuff. Maybe we'll do more of this in the future. This won't be for everyone, as we're kind of stating. It's a game that's It's a month that's jam packed with stuff that piques all three of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of why we're talking about it here. We might do this if we have another month similar to that, but each one will have differently. So let us know what you guys think. Any other final sign-offs, guys, or do we want to just say farewell?
This has been the Tomcast, and we were fooling around.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. You'll stay tuned for this or other gaming content. This is not going to be the only stuff, but this might be one of the first you'll see. Expect a lot more. Subscribe if you guys haven't. Leave a comment. Let me know if you guys want to hear just any other topics. But yeah, Tomfoolers are out. We don't have an outro yet. Maybe we'll get one eventually. God dang it. I don't know how to end this. No. Farewell.
Farewell.